Hello, everybody. Welcome to a massage with me, Abby. And today we will be working on the beautiful model, Emmy. And we're going to be focusing on deep fascial work and massage in the upper body, specifically the shoulders, the traps, and the neck. Let's go ahead and dive in. So, first things first, it's important to tune in to your client or to the person that's on your table. I like to rest my hands lightly on the collarbone, tuning into her breath, and to see if the collarbones are in alignment or a little out of alignment. And as I have this perspective of her center line down her body, I can see if she has any twists or turns throughout her abdomen. I don't need to know why that is now, but it is nice to know as we continue to work. So currently I know that Emmy is starting a new workout routine. And she specifically said that her neck and upper shoulders and traps are taking the brink of this workout, which is very common. Typically, when we start something like a new workout regime, we can get into what's called the sympathetic nervous system. And those breathing patterns are ignited in the upper traps and the upper region of your shoulders and upper body and rib cage. So it's common when you're starting a new workout routine to overuse these areas. So first and foremost, find time to breathe into your belly. The belly breath will help you relax and shift you into a parasympathetic nervous system. And that will give your shoulder muscles and neck muscles a bit of a break. Now, another thing to consider is the placement of the base of her skull. So I have my fingers coming right underneath her skull, right where the axis atlas and base of the head meet. Now, once again, I can gauge where her skull is resting and see if it is in alignment with her belly button, with her breastbone, and with her collarbones. Currently for Emmy, we have a little bit of a forward placement on the right, so it's coming forward. And the left is shorter. The trap is closer to her ear than on the right. So we know she's probably right-handed. This is going to help us understand how she twists around her spine and activates the movements that she wants to. And so once you have that base of the skull, you can gently pull her head towards you. And this creates a little bit of traction down the spine. As you do this, you might feel her breath change. Some areas may widen. That's her body relaxing and tuning into more of her brain and allowing herself to feel more of her body and her abdomen. So now I'm going to find her SCM, which is this muscle right here. Ooh, excuse me, right there. This can be very sensitive and tricky. But if you just lightly hold these areas while she's breathing, it can further her relaxation and help her tune into her parasympathetic nervous system and tune out of her sympathetic nervous system. All right. Make sure you gauge if the pressure's okay. It's a very sensitive area. And anytime you're working on the front of the neck, tune into your client or your patient and make sure they're comfortable with that. And now a nice effleurage, smooth movement down the side of the neck. You might notice tension. This is a very common area for tonicity and a lot of muscular development. And I'm pressing deep in, right on top of the collarbone. It's like not on top of the bone, but just right into the trap. I'm pressing deep and grabbing this trap like a piece of meat. Depending on the tonicity of the trap or the shoulder, can depend on whether or not you're using specific points or if you're using a little bit more of a broad pressure. If it's sensitive, broad pressure is encouraged, but if they can handle it, sometimes the pinpointed, deeper pressure can help them release faster. Now, at all times, I'm trying to have a conversation with Emmy's body and her brain and show her little specific intersections so she can feel more of where her body is in space. This is why I like to use two hands in two different areas. Right now, I'm feeling a development on the left side of her neck in these scalenes and SCM, but it's the way that she uses her right arm that's causing this tension. So with one hand on the shoulder to guide her mind, and one hand on the knot or the adhesions, her brain and I can work together and learn a little bit more about her patterns. I find it very common for us to need work on one side of the neck that is corresponding to the opposite side of the trap or shoulder. And now I'll just traction both, pulling back on the base of the skull and grabbing onto the trap and pulling at the same time. Always gauge the pressure. We do not want to overload them. The goal is to stay in the relaxation and parasympathetic side of the nervous system. So too much pressure can throw them back into fight or flight. So as we've created space on this side, Emmy's left side has come forward a little more, introduced herself. So we're going to shift to the left collarbone and the same area of adhesions. On the right side, it's right here, the top insertions of the trap. On the left side, there's a little bit more tonicity and muscular development and adhesions. most likely in response to the rotation that's happening in her collarbones. Let's see, we're back here. And so now I have that erector insertion in my left hand under my finger. And at the same time, I'm lightly stripping the scalenes. Ooh, an SEM. Into the trap. Making sure to not let her head flop too quickly. Ooh. All right. And let's realign her upper body. Give her a little bit more traction, just at the base of the skull. And it really doesn't take too much pressure. All right. So now we can tune into the left. And I want to take a moment to shout out to the Patreon members today: Matthew Addison, Shipwreck, and Alfredo L. So right now I'm just showing her brain what area we're focusing on now. She's still got, once again, we're working this X where it's the right side to the left shoulder and the left side of the neck to the right shoulder. They really do work together, you guys. So if you're ever working on yourself, they correlate. And so now I've got her right trap that we've been working on, and I'm putting some pressure upward, kind of following that inclination to rotate the collar board forward. And I'm just palpating her left shoulder, left collarbone as I press up to see if anything wants to release. A lot of fascial lines intersect in this area, so they have the ability to unravel all at once, if given the right time and pressure. And we're going to get deeper into this SCM over here. You can come in and do one more. It's just a light pinch. Try not to move too much because that will startle them just a bit. And then to get a little deeper into this left side, you can come and cup your fingers, curl them around this lovely muscle here. Be careful not to get too close to the throat, the thyroid. You really want to stay in these muscles right over here, and you can feel the difference. Just start out light if you're trying to learn about the neck. And grab this left trap and do the same base of the skull and pull I'm kind of following the muscle a bit, encouraging it to lengthen. All right, so this is a good one. Once you have them sort of equally worked out, you can grab both traps, gauge your pressure. We don't want to overwhelm them, and begin to pull both traps at the same time. This is a lighter pressure technique because it can be overwhelming. And as you come up to the base of the neck, find the erectors and the upper parts of the trapezius, and keep the pressure slowly moving up towards the base of the skull. And you'll feel yourself kind of click in and curl around the base of the skull. And then keep that traction and let them breathe. All right. And this concludes our video for today. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more videos like this, please just check out our Patreon page. Have a good day.